Hi folks, welcome to the Sabre Zone. This is a video on the channel, if you're new, that discusses what you guys said, what you wrote, and how you said it. So let's take a look at this one. I got a clip for you, and here it comes. And shout out goes to Bert. And Bert says, the Adams administration has returned a look of competent hockey know-how to the franchise. The previous decade has been a muddle of ill-advised moves and management that has led Buffalo to this point. After such a slog, the end, I believe, is in sight. And yes, that might be what I call this video, the end is in sight. Because really, I think the end to the misery that we lived as fans, Bert, you know what? I feel bad for the kids. I feel bad for the younger crowd that became Sabres fans and are like 20 now. And since they're kids, they've been living this. Where us guys from the 70s, we were spoiled brats with what we got served to us on the table. I know we didn't win a cup, but my goodness, there were good times. Even in the 80s, there were good times. You know, the 90s kind of sucked, till the late 90s. When Hasek, but you know what? It's not fair to say that, because even though we didn't have playoff success till the late 90s, we had this guy named Dominic Hasek that made the game worthwhile to watch. I mean, my goodness, we didn't have to have big, deep runs to be thrilled with what we were watching night after night, which was the greatest goalie on earth. It was just an incredible time. And the 90s, though, overall, wins and losses kind of sucked, But back-to-back deep playoff runs, I'll take that over the wins and losses any day of the week, any day. I mean, we had great teams that, in the 80s that just never did what that team did, was get to the Stanley Cup Finals, And even in the early 90s with McGillney, LaFontaine, we never had a run like we did with Pekka and Hasek. So, and then we hit the 2000s, and of course we had our big team in 06 and then in 07. And free agency has destroyed us since. Change of ownership. Next thing you know, we're in the midst of disaster era of the Buffalo Sabres the last decade. It's been a disaster. It's been the worst, without a doubt. We have won a playoff series, folks, in over 15 years now. 15 years since we've won a best-of-7 series. It's incredible for me to say that. I remember when that happened between 83 to 93, when we won our last series was in 83. And then in 93, we finally won a series again in 10 years. And I was like, my goodness, it finally happened. We won a playoff series. The Mayday goal, that was our first playoff series win in 10 years, was that goal, when that goal was scored. That's what that goal meant to me, more than the RJ call, believe it or not, was ending that drought, But this drought has been brutal. This drought has taken its toll on our fans. And you know what I hate about this drought too? It's brought in such a negative bunch of fans in to our fan base that are just negative. And this is why I have no patience on my channel for it. I just don't, because it's arrogant to be negative when there should be hope. There's always hope, no matter what. And if you don't have hope, it's because you don't believe in it. I do. I choose to believe in it. I have the ability to choose to believe in hope instead of being negative. Because being negative is a cop-out. It's a coward's way out, the way I see it. It's a coward mentality. No, I won't go there. I won't go there and ever give up on this franchise. I won't. And I think that's what we're living now. We're starting to see, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is. It's not a big surprise, Bert. It's not really a big surprise. Things are going to change. We can't stay bad forever. It's not possible. We were too good for too damn long. 4 winning decades in a row. We're not about to start doing 4 losing decades in a row. We're not going to do that. So now, especially when you have an owner willing to spend, which he is. He's willing to spend. He's just not spending because Kevin Adams is saying, no, not yet. No, we're not spending this money. We need this money. We're going to need it to sign these guys. When people get upset that we're not signing somebody like Kane for $10 million on this team, for what? What's he going to do for us? Win the Stanley Cup? I don't think so. That's not going to work that way. You're not going to get some 35-year-old, 34-year-old toss him into your lineup and all of a sudden win a Stanley Cup. It doesn't work that way. Now, could he be a complementary piece if we were a deep team? Yes, absolutely. He could be like, that's why when you hear the rumors in Edmonton, for me, that makes much more sense than him coming to Buffalo. I'd love to get him, not at that cost. No way. No. I'm not that desperate of a fan to want to hurt our future kids and our future salaries to live in the now. It's not worth it. It's just not. If we do something like that, we're idiots. We're just idiots. Like if we go and say, okay, we'll get him and we'll pay him like $10 million and then sign him to a contract 3 years at $10 million again. That's like Toronto when they signed Tavares. I don't want to go that route. No thanks. No, because there's going to come a time we're going to lose our young studs and have this washed up guy who's 36, 37. Makes no sense to me. And still no Stanley Cup, right? Because that's what this is all about. It's about winning a cup. It's not about getting your favorite player, guys. It's about winning a cup. It's not about you. It's about the franchise. It's about the logo. It's not about you and me. This is about our franchise becoming champions one day, and you're not going to do it getting a guy 34, 35 on this team this year. It's not going to happen. What could it throw us into a playoff spot? Possibly. But for me, even that's not worth it. It's just not. Because if we go and we make the playoffs, what are you expecting to do this year, really? I mean, I'd rather make it with the kids. I would. I'd rather make it with the kids. The kids get us in because that's what we're building here. It's about the kids taking over and becoming the champions eventually on this team. And if we can do that, then we built a team properly. No more panic. No more bandage jobs. No more fix-its, if you get what I mean, Bert. No more of that. No more of these bandage jobs. Get this guy, he's an $8 million player. Let's get Taylor Hall. Let's get Patrick Kane. Let's get all these band-aid jobs put on our team and think that this is going to work. For what? Because these are favorite players of some fans? To me, it doesn't make any sense, you know? Now, I'd be thrilled if we get high-end talent, but I wouldn't be thrilled in 2 or 3 years we did it. I'd be thrilled in the moment, but people that live in the moment don't have a vision of what Adams is doing. They don't have a vision what he's doing. And I've seen our own fans say that the Sabres are too cheap to go and sign these type of players, which is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life when you got an owner that's put millions of dollars into this project years and years ago when he upgraded the statues, whatever he did, the new dressing room, all of it, the facility, all of it. And I think right now we have to just go that route as fans, being patient, because we're getting results now. We're starting to get results again. It's starting to happen. We've seen it last year. The results started. And for me, that's all I wanted to see. I think that's what many of us wanted to see was some results. And we finally got some last year. I anticipate a lot of results this year. I don't think we have to do anything except get that money ready to pay our guys off in a few years. And when we're close to a Stanley Cup, when we're knocking on the door like we were in 06 and 07, then you go and acquire a guy, a big name, that's at the end of his career that wants to win a Stanley Cup. That's when you go and acquire guys like that. That's when you do it. You don't do it now in the middle of a rebuild like we're in, because we're right now, this rebuild's going very smooth, and I don't want to bend that. I don't want to chance that. I don't want to mess with that. I just don't. It worries me that if we go and mess this up now, this might be our last chance, guys. We might be a disastrous organization for the next 30 years if we mess this up right now. Pegula could sell him to some cheap-ass owner, and the next thing you know, this guy doesn't want to do anything with the team except make a few bucks. We don't want that. We don't. If we do that, we're in deep water eventually as a franchise to even survive, let alone win right now. So no, I say, you know what? He's brought, like you said, a whole new outlook upon this organization, which all of us, if we don't appreciate it, we're not very good fans. Because really, this is really what I hoped for, what I was begging for as soon as 2 years ago, was that to happen. So it's happened. Let's hang on to it. Let's see what happens. I'm excited for this year. Bert. I want to see what happens with the kids this year. I'm really excited because I think we're going to go, I believe this team's going to the next level this year. We don't need a big ticket name to do that. All right, guys, that's it for tonight. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great one.